This is Andy Purewal for Boxing News. I am joined by trainer Ben Davison here in Ipswich. Ben, you've had your fair share of unbelievable nights in the sport. I've been there when you've had Josh Taylor become undisputed. You've had that victory with Fabio out in Saudi. And now here we are again, Fabio just running it back in that 10th round when he's back against the wall. Didn't look like he had it in him, and then he finds that shot. Where would you say this ranks in your career as a trainer so far?
Yeah, they were all fantastic nights. That one was a bit frustrating at times, but through the fight. But being honest, we didn't expect Fabio to be banking rounds against Huni. I actually spoke to Rob this week and said exactly that. Like, if Fabio wins by knockout, it'd be from coming from behind. Like, it won't be I've been banking rounds, breaking down. Huni, in my opinion, is one of the best, not the best, but one of the best pure boxers in the division, and it wasn't, he was way down the list in terms of ideal replacements, but he was the only one that made sense and was available, so we had to go with it. And we knew if Fab was going to win, it was going to be capitalising on a couple of situations and basically winning by knockout.
When you was having those conversations, and as a team, if you was thinking he was going to get the stoppage, did you believe that he would be as far behind as what he seemed to be in the fight?
Ideally not, but knew it was capable. Actually said to the guys that the thing is, if he's up, we knew he'd be well up. Like I said, we didn't expect Fab to be banking rounds, and that might lead to him getting a little bit more carried away and leading to a few more exchanges, giving Fab some opportunities. So, yeah.
I don't know what it was like in the corner, but just from our perspective on the other side of the ring, it seems as though Fabio looks a little fed up or a little bit angry and annoyed, especially before that 10th round came around. Could you see that in him? Could you see him becoming frustrated, feeling like tonight just wasn't going to be his night?
No, I think he was. I think he was. It was something that was discussed many a times, that we don't think you'll be banking rounds. Like, if these situations keep happening, he's very good, Huni. He was well aware of that, and I think he's well aware of his strengths and weaknesses and things like that. And I think that's what works for him. He doesn't kid himself he knows, he listens, and he tries his best to apply it. And in situations where he's got to be brave because of his attributes, he does that. And like I say, that works for him. And what was the other part of the thing? It looked like he was
becoming frustrated and annoyed, and maybe not feeling like that 10th round was.
I think, sorry, that was what I was going to say. I think there was a few rounds there where we'd said to him, if you won't match him thinking moment for moment, and I think that started to happen. And he managed. I felt like in the start of the 9th, he'd done a better job of doing some things we was asking him to do. And then I can't remember too much of the 10th. I can remember the knockout, but can't remember too much of the 10th leading up to that. But the start of the 9th was better. And then, yeah.
What do you think that maybe Fabio struggled with as much? Do you think it was that speed of Justice Huni tonight?
That's one element of it, but he's very good at. He's very good at setting little traps. Then he'll counter. Then he'll follow those counters up with combinations, and he puts his shots together very well. Good body puncher, like you say, puts them together well, puts them together fast. So difficult. Very experienced, a very good boxer. Knows how to look after himself, ride shots, take this thing out of it. If you don't do a good job of setting up your work, he's good at recognising it. So yeah.
He said in his press conference just that punch was something that you guys had been working on during camp. Was that not just for truth, but is that something which you saw a weakness in Justice Huni? You felt like it was a shot which at some point could land and could be the decisive factor?
Yeah, I think a few people's texted me there that it was mentioned in the corner that he was galloping towards Fabio. We'd said to Fabio, if you'll take little half step backs and he'll gallop towards you and meet him with something there. And he done a little gallop and went to go and met him off of that. But yeah, Huni's got a habit of, he often likes to slip that side, takes his head off that side when he throws his right hand. So we said to Fabio, if you're committing down the pipe, good chance it's not going to land. Put a little arc on it, it'll come across into his path. But yeah, obviously there's lots of things that could have been better as well. But all credit to Fabio, because it's tough to be behind like that. against a good fighter who, like I say, puts his hands together. He had to weather a lot of storm, and had to be brave and didn't stop losing the fight and the spirit and the belief that he could win. And he pulled it out of the bag. So
I know you're going to want to go away, you want to reflect. Fabio's obviously due to become a father in the coming months, but for you guys, where do you want to see Fabio's next step in his career go?
I don't know. Look, everyone knows Fabio's story, where he's come from, and the level of fighters that he keeps beating. Like, he's got nothing to lose. So the biggest challenge and the biggest rewards, you know, see how the land lies, and that's what he needs to do. Take the best opportunities.
I know you're seeing him day in, day out in the gym, and you're seeing how much hard work he's putting in, but given that background, as you say, does it ever surprise you? Does it ever shock you just how high of a level he's reached? And wherever his next opportunity goes, going into another massive fight?
Being honest, he's capable because of that. He's a bit like Deontay Wilder. He's a little bit like Deontay Wilder, being honest. Like I say, he's brave, and when I say brave, he's ballsy in situations where we might say they might be firing back. You've got to take a risk here, you know, like this fight. We're very open and honest, and we were saying to him, like, moment to moment, you're not going to win. You're not going to win that battle with him. But when these opportunities come up, or you see this and see this, you've got to commit there and take a chance. And he's willing to do that, and it works for him, and that's how he's able to pull these moments out the bag, and doesn't overthink it. There was a little spell in the fight where he was certainly overthinking it, but you know, he's it doesn't surprise me, no, being honest, no.
I know you're someone, Ben, who cares very deeply for your fighters. In the past, you've shown it. If maybe it looked like the fight was getting away from you, wouldn't be hesitant to call it and to stop it there. Speaking to Eddie after the fight, he was saying, how much more can Fabio take? Should the fight be stopped? A few people suggested that online. Was that ever going through your mind?
No, being honest, you know, like I say, some people will say I can be a bit too early, or I've let things, you know, it would have been easy to say, Lee Wood, for example, against Conlan, should I have put the towel in there when Lee was hurt there, or Tyson against Wilder, should I put the towel in there? But I've let them go, and I feel like I make good judgments. Not to say I'll never make a mistake, you know, but yeah, it was nothing that in the corner was discussed. And yeah, we've not mentioned Rob Hodgins as well. Obviously, I work with them, but Rob is the main man as well, so he's done a phenomenal job to bring Fabio from white collar to WBA interim world champion. Phenomenal story.
Huge shout out to Rob there. Ben, just one more, sticking with the heavyweight, sticking with your heavyweight, Moses Atalama. A lot of talk about Dillian White next. Talk to him about that fight. If it is over the line, if it is announced, why you feel like a Moses Atalama Dillian White fight is the correct move for his next stage in his career?
I don't know if it's done. A
fight you'd be interested in?
Of course, look, there isn't anybody for Moses that we think, oh, I don't like that one. You know, we believe he's that good. Are there fights you'd look at and go, well, that's just as the risk is just as high as that, but the reward's higher there? Of course, but Dillian White's a British boxing legend and been in some of the biggest nights in this generation of the British heavyweight scene, world heavyweight scene, to be honest. And yeah, someone that if that does happen, you know, needs a lot of respect and top preparation. But yeah, like I said, I don't know if it is done.
Would you be confident if we were to see Moses would get another one of those stoppage finishes we've become so used to seeing?
Potentially, but again, we don't go in there banking on that. Might get some rounds, might be a bit of adversity that people keep saying that's what they want to see. So, you know, he can only go in there and do what he needs to do, and how that plays out, it plays out.
Ben, like I said earlier, I've been there for some massive nights for yourself. I've been there for some lows. It's a very different mood tonight than when I last saw you at the Lee Wood fight. So, yeah, I'll leave you to go and enjoy this with the team, enjoy this high. And yeah, thanks for being to me in Boxing News.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you.